Wow, what is going on with Ethereum? We've just seen a huge boom up from 3,150 all the way up to this point around 3,250 before pushing all the way back down to exactly where we came from. Huge volatility in the markets. Why is it happening? We're going to take a look today and look at some possible price targets for Ethereum. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos about Ethereum as well as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way in to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Ethereum and other cryptos. And also please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado then, let's jump into the Ethereum charts for today. So guys, as I was talking about on the 5-minute chart, we don't tend to look at the 5-minute chart because things do move very quickly and don't necessarily show the overall pattern. But why do we get these huge pushes like this, you might see? Well, we have been pushing quite aggressively up. There's obviously been a lot of buying pressure. If you look over at the fear and greed index on Bitcoin, that should tell you something that we've been moving from ultra fearful, which we had a few weeks ago, to now being quite greedy, and that's pushing people into the markets. FOMO's happening, people are getting on board, they see the prices move, they panic, they buy, and eventually it's pushing the prices up. And then you get what perhaps we have a big sell order, a target price for a big whale, etc. And it could be in line with a previous line of resistance or support, which they've identified, and they put in a big order, and because of the size of the order, it then drops the price and we have these dumps. So one thing I want you to be very cautious of, and sorry about the quality of this image, it's not particularly great, but this is the Wall Street cheat sheet. And if you can make it out, it starts down here with disbelief, moves up to hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, and then comes into complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, and capitulation, etc. And we've talked about this before, basically showing that this is how people are feeling at different stages of the cycle. And the feeling that we get, the FOMO feeling, the thrill, the excitement, etc., does come in this stage of the cycle. I'm not saying that we're about to come to the very top of it and we're about to blow all the way down to a very low level, but I'm saying when we get to these levels, don't get too excited. Try to maintain your emotions, because ultimately when we're feeling like this, that's actually when the bigger whales, etc., are starting to look to offload their crypto. And actually, we don't want to get caught buying the top. So just be patient. If we don't get in at the prices that we necessarily wanted to because it's shooting up, just take a bit of a pause, and perhaps later on in the day, perhaps later on in the month, etc., we get another chance to buy it at a lower price, even though things do look very bullish at the moment, in my opinion. Jumping onto the daily chart, you can see that we're finding clear resistance around this level. And in the past, we flipped this and we turned it into support, and then we came up and we had this back into support as well. So this is a very significant level that we're seeing playing out through here. And what is so significant about it is it's actually a very key level on the Fibonacci retracement, which I can show you. Take the reading all the way back on the 11th or 12th of March 2020, all the way to the swing high, and I'm talking about the candle close, not necessarily the big wick that we got up there. And we can see that we perfectly coming down and touching the 0.236. Okay, so at the moment, what I see potentially playing out is a bit of a struggle around this 0.236. Okay, so personally, I don't see us necessarily shooting through like we did over back on the 4th of May, where we pretty much went through in a single day, and even then we did come back and have a retest. I can see us having a bit of a play around here, moving a bit of sideways action. Perhaps maybe we take a little bit more of a dip to the downside before we are due to push on through. I might obviously be wrong, but seeing the way that it's reacting right now on that 5-minute chart, the way it's sort of shooting up and coming back down, is showing a lot of uncertainty. There's clearly starting to have some selling pressure coming in. So potentially we might have an opportunity that we might be able to buy a little bit lower. I got a lot of negative comments yesterday for saying that we would potentially take a dip back towards the levels at around the 2,850, which would be in the line with the top of this level here. We may even come back down to this level at around 2,650, which is nothing but potentially a good thing, guys. We think now the price is quite high. Potentially it might come down. We might be able to buy more at a much more discounted rate, okay? But ultimately, I see things, if we do come down and take this dip, then we will be pushing back onto the upside. And if we do manage to sort of hold here and steadily creep above, we'll probably take a push above before coming back for a retest like we did back on this level, back on the beginning of May, before then pushing up towards all-time highs, which, as we know for sure, will provide us with some significant resistance. But ultimately, the news and the sentiment is still very good for Ethereum. People feeling much more comfortable in the markets, particularly those who bought back in May, are probably feeling a little bit happier about their situation than they were perhaps, a few weeks ago, where we're all the way down here. So we do tend to get very impatient and very excited about it, wanting to push. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were sat at $1,700, and we're now sat at $3,100, which is a pretty incredible increase in terms of percentage. But I do also want to draw your attention down to the RSI, which is still showing that we are overbought on the RSI. Do pay attention to that, because that also could mean that we're due for a bit of a cool off, perhaps just within this range. Whether we come all the way back down to the 2,600, I think might be a bit drastic. More realistically, somewhere around the 2,870. Between these two levels, I can see us perhaps having a bit of sideways action, or we come through, have a retest, and push to the upside. So it would be very key to see what happens. Currently around the $3,230 level. If we're unable to breach it soon, I can see us having a push back down to the downside. Guys, let me know down below what your thoughts are. Are you buying more at these levels, or are you going to wait for a further dip towards the downside? Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Guys, if you are interested in buying a fantastic IDO, I've just done another video about a new IDO today from a huge Bitcoin platform. Fantastic opportunity to make huge gains. I've covered IDOs before that have done really well. I'll leave a link to the end of this video up over here, so make sure you give that a click and go and check out that video. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you again tomorrow with another video. Bye bye.